Welcome to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. I'm Kinsey Ashcraft, a boutique owner, firefighter wife, and mama of 2 cowgirls, homesteading on a cattle ranch in Oklahoma.
And I'm Talia Watcott, a Western artist and illustrator, mama of 2, and wife of a mountain man, raising babies in the mountains of Utah.
Together, we share a passion for the Western lifestyle, homemaking, and Indian paintbrush flowers.
We're here to inspire and encourage you as we each create a simple but beautiful life on the prairie.
All right, welcome to the Paintbrush Prairie. We are back with another Christmas episode today, and we are talking all about minimalist Christmas gifts for ranch kids.
So when we say minimalist, we don't really mean like actually, like stark, bare, and cold minimalism. We're just more talking about like getting things that are really practical, that aren't just useless things that are going to clutter up your house, and then also just making sure that you're being thoughtful with your gifts and not just buying just to buy. You're using intention when you are getting gifts for your kiddos. So we're just going to kind of break it down. We're going to start off with like the really young kids and then move on up the ages and talk about some different gift ideas for each age group, and then we will talk about let me give you a disclaimer here. If you have little children and little ears listening, you may want to not listen to this episode when they are around because we will be discussing some Christmas topics that you may not want them to hear. So that being said, I'll give you a minute to turn it off. All right. So at the end, we'll kind of go over some stocking ideas for the kiddos. So starting off with the little kids, the babies and the toddlers. Obviously, this is kind of like the easy one because they don't really know any different. You can just let them play with the wrapping paper if you want. But do you have any ideas just right off the top of your head, Kinsey, for some fun things for the little kids?
So I love this age because, like you said, they're literally just excited to play with the packaging. So I remember when the girls were this age, we would get things that they kind of needed, but were also, I would just say, stimulating for them as far as like motor skills and learning. So I would just say like things like magnetiles or, gosh, it's been so long since I've had a really, really little
I'm more
kid.
in this zone right now.
But like I was saying, I would just say more of like learning opportunities, like things that you've been wanting to get them to help with their motor skills, just fun little toys like that. They don't really have like a wish list or anything that they are wanting, so they're happy with anything. So I would just say things that are great for learning.
Yeah, so and we're talking like 1, 2, 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
Basically, this is kind of when I like to do like the developmental toys like she was talking about. So blocks are good. Like blocks are just one of those toys that can be open-ended, and there's so many different styles of blocks, but even just the standard plain like boring wood blocks, they can make so much stuff with those, and they are just, it's just so great for their little hands. So I really like that. And then either like Duplos or what are they called? I just looked at them the other day. They're building blocks. They're like mega blocks, I think is what they're called.
Yeah,
but they're like the really giant, big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, like the giant Legos, but
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Briggs really loves to play with those. And even Cheyenne, she's 6 and she still loves to play with those. Duplos are actually on our list this year because we're not quite to the Lego age yet. So we're going to be looking for some Duplos. But So building blocks, stacking anything that they can use those motor skills with their hands. I really like, so this is like, I don't know. It depends because there is kind of a gap. So obviously a 1-year-old is different than a 3-year-old, where Briggs is like 2.5. He's actually starting to do puzzles and things. So you can get like the really simple puzzles that only have like 10 pieces or 20 pieces, depending on like their skill level. And the other thing I like to think about at this age is that I'll get toys that they're not quite ready for, but they will be within the next 6 months to a year because they'll grow into them. The
Mhm.
biggest thing is like I I would always try to think like, okay, what are they going to be wanting to play with in 6 months, rather than okay, they're ready for it now, and then in 2 months they're going to be bored because they have outgrown that toy because they grow so fast at this age, right?
Yeah.
So puzzles, like even the little wood block puzzles where they have like, it's like all farm animals, and they like fit right into the shape. So those are so super super great for like the 1 to 2 year old age.
I love the puzzles that you can get personalized with just their name.
Yes.
And so, like, not only, I mean, I know those are a little bit more expensive, but if you're wanting to, like, do more of like a learning aspect when you're doing a puzzle, it would help them learn how to spell their name. So, just
That's
another.
actually, I was actually just looking at one of those for Briggs, because we got one for Cheyenne when she was 2, and she doesn't really play with it as much anymore. Briggs plays with hers, and so I'm like, okay, it's time to get Briggs his own. But I love it because it helps with name recognition, and so they can learn what their name looks like. They can learn how to spell it. They can learn, and then it's like they can keep learning. So when they do start writing and working on their handwriting, they can look at the puzzle and use that to like help them with their writing. So I'm actually going to put in the show notes, I will link the puzzle that I'm talking about. It's on Etsy, and the maker has a few different color options. These ones are just natural wood look, and I personally like them the best when they just have like that natural wood look to them. But that she has a couple of different color variations, and you can either get all capitals or you can get capital and then lowercase, which is the way that I do it. And their stuff is really, really good quality. It's lasted over the years. So I will put that in the show notes. And then just one thing I had for the baby, like if you're, I mean, when they're babies, it's like you're not really giving them gifts as much, but something you could do is there is a boutique that's local to me called Native Sunshine. And she has these little hooded like jumpsuit things, and they're made of like the softest fabric, and they're so cozy, and they're footed, so it covers their feet, and it has a hood on it, and I believe the sizes go up to a year, so it's really great for like little babies on up to a year old. um and they're Navajo print, and they are in like a bunch of different colors. I had a few for Briggs when he was little, so I will also link those, because that's a really good one for winter, because you can just like put them in it, and then they're really, really snug and cozy. So I love that
Mhm.
one.
I think we did when the girls were babies. We got there, and I'm sure I found it off Etsy. But we got them a personalized like plate bowl
Oh,
set,
that's cute.
with their name on it or whatever, because they can use that. And again, they're babies, so it's not, like they really
Yeah,
know. But it's something that they'll use for years to come. And I want to say we got them, my girls loved the little soft, minky, lovey blankets. And they were big car blanket babies. They always had to have a blanket in a car. And so I think we got them each one when they were babies at Christmas.
that's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. Another one for the toddlers I just thought of is obviously stacking rings. That's like a classic. For some reason, like the 1-year-olds just love the stacking rings, like the old school, Fisher Price ones or whatever they are. And then the puzzles that have their like there's lots of different ones, but where it's like we have one that's a farm. It's like a little red barn and it has different shapes. Like a tractor and a pig and like even just I think they have just like rectangle and oval and square, and then they learn how to fit the right shape into the hole to get it inside the barn.
Yeah, I think we had that at one point too. Yeah, those are
So
fun.
yeah, that's like the perfect toddler gift, because like 1-year-olds, it's a little bit advanced, but like pretty much from age 1 to 3 they will learn to master it. So Briggs he's getting to where he's getting good at those. Um, but he's 2.5. So those ones are really fun for him. And there's like so many different ones. There's a lot of different farm ones and all different kinds. So kind of I don't know. There's a few that like could go from like the earlier toddler to like the 5 and 6-year-old age. And so we'll kind of like move into those unless you have any more that you can think of just off the top of your head. I mean,
Like,
animals, like little baby animals, like the Schleich animals, are always
mm-hmm.
great for any age because
Yeah.
I started buying those for Cheyenne when Cheyenne was like really, really small, and she still plays with them now. And now we incorporate them into our homeschool lessons. So the
Mm-hmm.
Schleich baby animals or the safari animals are really good. And then I feel like as they get to the 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old age, that's when they can really start playing with like the little Buster toys
Mm-hmm.
because then they can really, that's like when they really start having their imagination come out. And
Well, and what I love about those is they can, I mean, I have an 8-year-old who's still very much playing with those and probably will be playing with those for another couple of years. So that's why I love the little Buster toys, because it fits such a wide age range. And like, I carry them in my shop, but also we started our own collection before I even carried them. And so each holiday or birthday, we would add a piece or two to their collection, and it's something fun that they can look forward to or write on their wish list. And also, I love because they're metal. Not their animals, but like their trailers and their barns and their hay rings, all of their attachments or implements or arena gates, whatever they have, is all metal. So it reminds me a lot of like your classic Tonka toys that our parents played with, that our kids are playing with now. You can hand them down and they last for several generations. And so we've really tried to focus on, when we do buy things, we're going to buy something that we can hand down and something that's going to last. I really have tried to eliminate tons of plastic in our home, and that goes all the way to toys. So, Little Buster's like one of my top gift ideas for boys and girls, ranch kids. So it's a good one that just fits, a wide age range.
yeah, um, they have so many different products now. I feel like they just keep expanding. And
Yes.
so they have like don't they have like the plush like show animals now?
Yeah, they do. So they actually expanded, and I want to say they have a partner company that took over all of the plush only.
Oh, okay.
But they do have like a stock show line, which is good for maybe kids who aren't ranch kids per se, but they are in the agriculture industry and are big into showing. So I love that because they've really expanded into like sheep and goat. It's not just cattle and pig. But then they also have like the rodeo toys. So they have the like the barrels and the roping arena and the bucking stock. And they just came out with recently a covered arena, and it is so
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
Yes, it is
That's
so
so
neat.
cool.
Like, I'm like, I want my girls to have this. But and like, just since we've started carrying them in the shop, they've added like several different types of trailers. So they have like a livestock trailer, they have a hay trailer, a hay dump trailer. They just came out with a half top, which is really cool because you don't see those very
Yeah.
often
Yeah.
as far as toys go.
Right.
So yeah, I love that they keep adding to their line, and it makes it exciting for the kids too because, you know, they're constantly getting to add to their collection. And as like for us being hay farmers, I love that because it's, you know, what we do. And even though I have girls, they still like to play with that.
Right.
So
Right.
it's fun.
Yeah, I love them. They have I think they came out with it like a couple years ago, but they came out with like the show sheep, like the Suffolk show
Hmm.
sheep.
Yeah.
And I had to buy it because I used to show sheep. And so I have to get the fitting stand because I died when I saw that. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it's so cool. Like I would have died for that stuff when I was little.
Yeah, it's so neat. And I like they have the show box now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm always excited to see what they're going to come out with next.
Yeah. So that's probably, I would definitely say that's one of our favorite brands when it comes to kids' toys. Super good quality. I remember we got the big flat like cattle pen, like
Hmm.
the big one. And I remember when we got it, Cody was like, "Holy moly, you're gonna kill
It's
someone with
big.
that."
Yeah, and they're heavy duty, but I
They
love it
are,
because it's like I'm gonna get to watch this is all stuff I'm gonna put up in our attic, you know, like I'm gonna get to watch my grandkids use this stuff. So
right?
I don't mind spending the extra on things like that.
Yeah, it's worth it for sure. Yeah, definitely investment pieces, but it's worth it. If you aren't familiar with Kenzie's Boutique, you better get familiar. Kenzie owns Farm Girl, Rural Boutique, and General Store, and it is the dang cutest boutique ever. I've been obsessed since I found her, and she continues to curate the most wonderful collections in her online boutique. Kenzie and I work together on a lot of the designs, from her branding to her recipe cards to her candles to art prints that she offers. So when you purchase from Farm Girl, you are getting some really cute stuff, and it's kind of like you're getting a piece of both of us. Kenzie has a wide variety of products, from home goods to her own apparel brand, Farm Girl Cattle Co., to books for your ranch bookshelf, and even cute toys and goodies for the cow kids. Farm Girl is actually my favorite place to shop for gifts because she carries such a wide variety of things that I know people will love. You can pretty much find something for everyone on your list, even the guys. So make sure to head over to farmgirlboutique.com to do your Christmas shopping. And while you're at it, go check out Kenzie's meal subscription at Hayfield Meals. It's only $7 a month, and each week Kenzie sends you curated, tested, tried and true ranch recipes that she has created specifically for people who live a rural lifestyle. Whether you're taking meals to your farmer out on the tractor or trying to decide what to feed your family for dinner, her meal subscription is amazing. I cannot say enough good things about it. Each week, your subscription will include your weekly meal plan that consists of 5 dinners, a tractor snack, and a dessert. You will get the recipes as well as a completed grocery list, all in PDF form that's ready to print out and throw in a binder. Hayfield Meals also makes a great gift. A meal subscription can be so helpful and so thoughtful. And like I said, it's only $7 a month, the price of a fancy coffee. To subscribe to Hayfield Meals, head over to farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals. There you can click the link to sign up, and then you will be on the list. Another thing that like Briggs is really into right now and is good for like the older toddlers, preschool age kids is like, and I'm talking boy stuff because that's what he's into, but we'll get into girl stuff too, but like tools. So they have, I would not recommend, like, don't get on Amazon and don't buy like a plastic tool set. Don't go to the store and buy a plastic tool set because it's going to break, because everything is made so poorly these days. I'm just frustrated by so much of it. I did the plastic thing last Christmas and Briggs broke it in a day. Like the tools broke in a day, and I was really sad. So if you get on Etsy, you can find handmade wooden tool sets, or there's a few other websites that sell more like the wood toys. You just kind of have to I think the best place to look is Pinterest, and then you can kind of find some of those more like boutique type toy places. But those are also they are definitely a higher price point, but it's actually going to last and it's not going to break in a day. And more than likely, those wooden tools are going to last for years and years. So if you have one kid now, but you're planning on having 6, your 6th child will still be using the same set of wood toys. You know what I mean? So I think it's just one of those things, getting away from the consumer culture of just buy, the more is better because things are discounted and I can get this for $10, but it's going to break, the next day. Think of it like everything is kind of an investment, and, if you're going to spend the money, buy something that's high quality, that's built to last. And then most of the time you're also supporting a small business when you do it, because a lot of the people that are making these higher quality toys are more small businesses. They're not like the mass produced Chinese companies. So the little ones that I really like they have a little wooden saw or a hammer, or just basic tools. But you can get one of those, and then you can get a little leather tool belt that you can put them all in, and then you have your little tool man. And Briggs loves tools. He loves to be just like Dad, so I think that's a great one. And that could be it. Just get tools, and then pick things that go with the tool set. Cody's probably going to build Briggs a tool bench out of wood, because it's, you can go out to Target and buy the fancy Magnolia one, but it's pretty expensive. And I think it's simple enough that if you're handy with wood at all, or if your husband is, you can definitely make one. And, we're going to be incorporating in this episode, talking about things that you can make for your kids. You don't have to go out and buy everything if you're handy. So what about for girls of that age? Do you have any ideas or things that you got for your girls when they're that age?
Yeah, so I would say around when Scott was 4, I think, is when we really got into the Mayleg toys. And if you don't know what Mayleg is, it's like an heirloom line of these bunnies and rabbits and mice. And instead of dolls in a dollhouse, it's the same concept, but with these bunnies and mice. And we love them. Like I said, these are things that are really, really nice, and we will be able to hand down to our grandkids. And so we just started buying a little bit at a time and building their collection. And I love it because they come out with furniture and appliances and all these things. You can also buy dollhouses from them too, which I'll get to here in a second. But all of these extra things are very nice quality. Most of them are metal or wooden. And so again, they're going to last. And so what we did is I had an old bookcase that I grew up with when I was a little girl. And on the side, it had a really big chimney, and it had shutters and shingles on the top. And so we took a lot of those pieces and had the girls made Mayleg bunny dollhouse, and I'll be sure to link the blog post so you can see the full thing. I need to get the dimensions on it because I've had several people ask what size it is. But we had that made for them for Christmas one year, and it was like their big Christmas gift together. And then like we bought a few things to go in it, but grandparents, aunts, uncles, they all kind of went in and bought several things to help complete the rooms in this bunny dollhouse. But like we took really pretty scrapbook paper as wallpaper, and we got like some of the miniature things you can get at Hobby Lobby and made like artwork and different things. And so, like you said, you don't have to go buy this, you can create this. And to me, it's that much more special. And again, my grandkids will play with it. So that's been a big deal for my girls for several years. And we just keep adding to it. Paisley's kind of phasing out of that as she's getting older. She's almost 12, but Scout still has a few more years to play with it. So this gift alone will probably have been put to use for about 10 to 12 years. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And so that's one of our big ones. And then the girls, let's see, they love, and I know this is a little bit, we're talking about younger. So Breyer horses, of course. We love Breyer horses. My girls have all of my hand-me-downs. I have scored some great ones off of Facebook Marketplace. Again, thrift shops, hit and miss. But Talia and I also talked today that we've been finding some off of Poshmark, which who knew you could find Breyer on Poshmark, but you can. But Breyer horses to me are timeless. Like, I still love them. I decorate with them in my room. So it's like, you could get me a Breyer. I'm probably weird, but like you could get me a Breyer horse for Christmas and I'd love it. Talia got me a Breyer Longhorn for my birthday one year. It's right up here in my office on my shelf. But it made me so happy. And I got her an elk. But, but I love that stuff for little girls. And again, I have found some really cute, I'll see if I can find the links to them too, and we can link them in the show notes if you're at all interested. But I found this Etsy shop, and she makes miniature things for the Breyer horses and for different sizes. So she'll make like turnout blankets, polo wraps. She even has like small, like wheelbarrows and buckets and bridles and halters and all kinds of things just to fit Breyer horses.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And
that's
so,
awesome.
You could go, and we talked about this earlier too. They don't have to be brand new because a lot of the classic Breyer horses are retired. So you have to buy them pre-owned. But to me, my girls would not care. So you could go thrift them a whole bunch of Breyer horses and then buy them little extra things to go with them, like off this Etsy shop. And I think that would make such a cute gift. And then I was trying to think more small business minded, but as far as like things that you can't buy from a small business that are fun for that age, my girls love like the kits, like bracelet making kit. They love a karaoke machine. And I feel like that spans from a wide range, because especially little girls, like they come out talking and they never stop. So that's always fun. And dress up.
Yes.
So my girls love Paisley's phasing out of that too, but they have always loved dress up. So we've always tried to invest in some fun costumes for them to play in. We've also been handed down lots of fun costumes from other people. Costume jewelry is fun.
Yeah.
And just little things like that to make imaginative play a little bit extra.
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest.
Yeah. Dress up is like one of my favorite all-time toys. Like it's actually like really, really important for development. And so I don't know how many people really know that, but it is very important for both boys and girls. to play dress up. And so if you can, it's good to have like dress up clothes out like available where they can see them at all times so that they're like inspired to dress up. And then the cool thing about dress up is it can be pretty much totally cheap or free. I mean, I have a lot of princess dresses because Cheyenne loves princesses, and her grandma likes to buy her princess dresses a lot. So we do have a lot of those. We have gotten some hand-me-downs of like superhero capes and masks and things like that from some family. But the other thing is like you can just take clothes that you don't wear anymore and you can put them in your dress up. And so that's what I grew up with, like a lot. Like my grandma, she had a toy chest and it had all the dress up clothes in it. And some of them were from like my uncles when they were kids, like little cowboy outfits, like vests and spurs and boots and stuff that were from when they were little kids. And then she also had like some wigs, some like old wigs. I mean, these were probably, I don't even know, from the 40s or something. Like they were
That's so fun.
old, and like old hat boxes and old high heels that she didn't wear anymore. And because she had like little tiny feet. So we would wear like the high heels. You can even just go to like just a thrift shop and just, you know, pick out some pieces where you're like, oh, that looks like a grandma outfit. You know what I mean? Or like, uh, you know, things that could be, I mean, I know you can always like buy the sets where it's like, oh, this is the chef's dress up outfit or whatever, or the doctor outfit, but you don't necessarily have to like buy those. And a lot of times those are they're not made super well. So they rip really easily.
Mm-hmm.
Or the fact that, you know, the fabric's just is kind of cheesy. So they don't last very long. And the other thing you can do is you can sew a few little basic pieces if you want to, like if you're good at sewing. So I think dress up is a really good, just inexpensive kind of like fun thing that you can do. And it's perfect for like the 3 to 5 and even older, you know, up till they
Mm-hmm.
get a little bit older. And but it is good to have like pretend play stuff. And so kind of along the lines of just like the actual like clothing items, you can get like little kits. And obviously I suggest going with like more of like the wooden items just because they will last a lot better. But there are still some cute sets, like if you're not able to, totally invest in that, you can get like a little doctor kit. Like we actually, when Cheyenne was little, we got a Briar Horse vet kit. And so it's the Briar Horse, and the horse like whinnies when you like put the shot in its neck or whatever. And then it's like,
Aw,
there's like a hoof pick that comes with it, and you can like, they pick out the hoof and the horse like moves its tail or something. It's kind of fun, like
I love
just
that.
some cute stuff like that. So I think those are good ideas. Another thing that I'm looking for my kids to share is I want to get them a set of Lincoln logs. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm, like these are the old school Lincoln logs, like when we were kids and, when our parents were kids. But they're kind of expensive if you buy them brand new. Like if you want to buy a tin of them, it's like $50 or something. It's a lot.
Wow.
Um, and that's like on Amazon. So what I'm doing is I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace to see if I can get like, people cleaning out their garage or whatever, and they're just unloading their set of Lincoln logs that they've had for 20 years. And so I'm going to try and kind of get some sets that way. Cause once again, at the end of the day, like they don't need to open a brand new toy. That's not important. So
Mm-hmm.
if even if it's like especially the Breyer horses where they are vintage, they have some scuffs or they have a scratch or, but I got plenty of Breyer horses when I was young and they had that, or some of them even have broken legs and it was fine. Like they were repaired.
Yeah.
So, I think especially when you're tight on money, like a lot of us are, looking Poshmark, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, thrift stores, those are really good places to find things at a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm.
So, another thing is to like a little lariat rope, I think is great for that age of kids. Like my
Yeah.
Briggs is 2.5 and he is like trying to rope everything. He's Cheyenne, like it's been taking her a little bit more longer to get into that, but he'll take his little, like, so we have lacing cards, just like, the little cardboard lacing cards, and he'll take the lace and he'll just like start swinging it, like, and he's like, I'm gonna rope a cow, or he'll be like, I'm gonna rope you. And so, if your little boy doesn't have rope, he needs a rope, and they have little kids ones. They have lots of different, weights and everything. And I even thought of like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it this year or if I'll wait until next year, but the little tabletop roping dummies.
Yeah.
I think those are so cute, and I think my kids would have a blast doing that. So,
yeah, those are fun.
all right, guys, it's time for this week's review. This review is from Jess on Life. Ziegler episode. Loved how relatable it felt and how open she was about the climb and struggle. So refreshing. More, please. Thank you so much for leaving a review, and we are so happy to have you guys listening. Head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave your review, and you may get your review read on the podcast. We love hearing what you guys think of the show and what you want to hear more of. We kind of haven't really touched on like baby dolls, but I think most little girls like baby dolls. And
Yeah.
we were talking earlier before we started about furniture. So like doll furniture, right? So like the little baby doll high chairs or cradles, or like Cody actually built my kids a little kitchen. And so it's like solid wood, like gonna last forever kind of a deal. So we were talking about how if you're wanting to get those items, you can build them, or you can find them, the vintage ones also, for the dollies, and they're going to be a lot better than the plastic ones.
Yeah, so when Paisley was, it was right before Scout was born, so she was 2.5, almost 3, and she was obsessed with Pioneer Woman. All she wanted to do was cook and watch the Pioneer Woman show. And so that's when we bought her kitchen. And that year we were able to afford a really nice one, but I wish that we would have either had one made one, or found something off of Marketplace and kind of redid it. You know how off Pinterest they'll tell you, like, you can take this nightstand and turn it into a stove or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I almost wish we would have done that, because it's like, even though it's from Pottery Barn, it's still made with not real wood, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so we already, it has gone through our kids and their friends and stuff, but we have like a door that's come off and the hardware's not great, and just, I'll probably end up getting rid of it, and not that'll be something I probably won't keep. But again, I wish we would have had it. We would have just taken the time to make something instead of buy that, because it's not something we're going to keep. But I always think like the kitchens are such a great Christmas gift, because again, it's something they're going to play with for forever. And, if they have siblings, or if you plan to have more kids, then you'll just pass that down and you can add so many fun things to it. We used to sell, my friend and mentor Cheryl, she used to sew a lot of things for the store when we did lots of handmade items in the shop. And so one year she sewed lots of fruits and vegetables and different play kitchen items, and we sold them in the store. So they had lots of like felt food. And then of course you can buy like the wooden food sets and stuff, but you can find all kinds of neat kitchen things. You can get like the pots and pans at garage sales or thrift stores. So that of course is all, it's good for boys and girls, but especially little girls who like to be,
Mm-hmm.
little mamas, and you can
Yes.
get them sew them an apron with their name on it and just
Yep.
really make a themed Christmas, and it's so
Yes.
much fun for them.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cody built ours, but my aunt actually collects, well, she over the years has collected the vintage little kids cabinet kitchens. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
got the bottom and then the top cabinet. And they used to have, well, I think hers still actually do have glass windows on the top cabinets. I think like obviously to me that's like a little bit of a hazard just because I have a breaker. He throws things and breaks things. So I get really paranoid about glass. But if you wanted to, you could easily take the glass out or, cover it or something. But so those little vintage kitchens, if you get on Facebook Marketplace, you can find them. I see them all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
you can just easily throw a coat of paint on them if you want to, because I know, sometimes it's old paint and old paint has, worries with like lead and things. But if you throw a new coat of paint on them, you can line the shelves if you want to with cute little like wallpaper or whatever. And they're darling. They're so cute and just
Mm-hmm.
super, super cheap, but they are real wood. They're going to last. You can put like cute little door knobs on them and they're just so cute. So I love all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so kind of moving on to the next age group. So about like 6 to 9 ish, 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. So Cheyenne's in this age group. She still loves all of the younger, like preschool age toys, which is great, because she loves to play with Briggs. But she is capable of doing a lot more now. And so, like, one thing we got her last year was she got a BB gun and she got a, like, a little kid's bow that she can shoot. And she loves helping with the gardening. So, like, the gardening tools have been really big for her. And I'm going to sew her own apron this year because she loves to help me cook. And she had an apron when she was smaller, but she's outgrown it. So, I found this really cute horse fabric. So I'm gonna sew her a little apron. And she is so, we talked about Briars. She loves Briar horses, like absolutely loves them. But she's really into, like, we've been reading Little House like this whole year. And so she loves pioneers. She loves
Mm-hmm.
history. We do a lot of history in school, in our homeschool, because I love it. Cody loves it. We're really big history, like, buffs, I guess. And so last Christmas she actually got, like, they're called like My Generation.
Yeah.
They're like the American Girls, but they're, in my opinion, I think they are cuter. Like, they have cuter faces.
We have we have a few of their horses that we really
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. So the one she got last year, it came with a foal, and then like it had the little bucket and the brush and everything. So, but it was blonde and blue eyed, and that doesn't look like her. So this year I'm gonna get her a brown haired one with brown eyes, like, and curly hair. And then she's like really into ballerinas right now. So this girl has like a ballet outfit on. And but I got her like a pioneer dress to go on her dolly last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it has like the little bonnet and everything. It looks just like a Laura Ingalls dress. So this year I'm getting her a Mary Ingalls dress so that she'll have a Laura and a Mary doll. And
Aw.
then I actually found the other day, I don't know how I stumbled on this. I think it was on Target, but there's a brand of doll accessories, and they're American Girl doll size, but they're not American Girl doll brand. I can't remember what they're called at the moment, but I will link it in the show notes. But they have Little House dolls, so they
Mm-hmm.
actually have like a Laura Ingalls doll. I don't love the dolls, but the accessories are what I like absolutely am dying over. So they have different sets that go with like the Pioneer dolls. So they have
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, the cooking over the campfire set. And then they have
Aw.
like the lunch pail with like the lunch items that Laura would have taken to the schoolhouse. You know what I mean?
That's
And
so cool.
like, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. They had seriously everything. So many different cute little sets that can go with the Pioneer theme of dollies. And in my opinion, I would rather have her be excited about that and like really immersed in that like historical kind of world than have her be growing up too soon and like wanting her little dolly to have like a cell phone and
Yeah.
like the computer laptop and things like that. Like it's just not my favorite. So because I know as a little girl I would have just adored to have like all the little Pioneer sets to go with
Mm-hmm.
those dolls. And I did have an American Girl doll and I loved it, but I think it would have been really fun to have like the Pioneer stuff. So I know your girls have had American Girl dolls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of them have been handed down, and then they each got one for Christmas from my Nana one year, and then like accessories and stuff to go with them. But we have the My Generation stuff too. My girls love the horses just because they all usually have like really nice manes and tails that they can braid, and that's actually how they learned how to braid. That and their real horses' tails, but they're a little bit easier to hold on to when they're getting started. Um, but like going back to the Little House on the Prairie stuff, so we just got back from Indiana and we went to this really fun place called Spring Mill, and it's this old village, and they have like the leather shop and the schoolhouse and the tavern and the apothecary shop and the mercantile, and um, anyways, they had reenactors there that would show that like they would read a story, and then they had the women in there cooking over an open fire, and then they had a leather maker, and then he was showing how he was like tanning hides and showed his skins and stuff hanging up, and just like different, like each part of the village that you went to, they were like reenacting what they would do in the old days. So all of the women were obviously dressed like in pioneer times and what the Ingalls would wear. And so we went into the mercantile, and the girls each got they had bonnets for sale. And
Oh,
so they each
cute.
yeah, so they each got one, and they were like they're really nice. They're all hand sewn, and they were $7. So
Oh
that's
my
what they spent
gosh.
their spending money on. And so anyways, they brought them back, and the first thing that they asked my gran after they showed her, they were like, "Will you make us a Laura and Mary Ingalls dress to go with our
Oh,
bonnets?" And I love it. I thought
so
it was so
cute.
cute because, like, again, Paisley's like, she's growing up and getting older, but she is Little House on the Prairie obsessed. Read all the books, she's watched all the show multiple times. And I love that she's still wanting to play and pretend play in that. And so I think my grand's going to try to sew her a dress for Christmas to go with her bonnet so they can like play. And again, like she's also into Little Women. So I love
Hmm.
that because it's kind of like not the same, but similar.
Yeah.
And, and, so I just thought that was so neat because that's such a cool gift. And it's, again, something that she's probably going to keep forever because my grand sewed it for her.
Right.
So you can take little things like that and add to it and make it such a special gift, but also not have to spend a ton of money.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. I was going to say, in the theme of thrifting, because that seems to be what we come back to, but you know, I'm just not like real big on buying things brand new. So if you're wanting to get a doll for cheaper that's not brand new, because they can be pricey. I mean, if you
Mhm.
get a real American Girl doll, they are pricey. The My Generations are a lot cheaper. But if you want some of the American Girl pieces to go with a My Generation doll, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. So the one that I do want to get to though, I mean, this is probably not going to be for Christmas, but at some point I want to get the Kaya American Girl doll.
That's the one we have.
Yes, she's so pretty, and she has the coolest accessories because she is Native American, and so she has like I don't know I think it's a bear hide. I think it's
Mhm.
supposed to be like a bear hide, and then she's got like the little wolf or whatever that
She has her
goes with her, and then she has like the different um dresses. Like she's got like several different dresses that you can get. A lot of that stuff is retired, so if you get on eBay, you can find sellers. And the other one that I really want to get at some point, like this is probably farther on down the road, and it maybe I'll just get it for myself. But I want to get Kirsten because I
Mhm.
wanted Kirsten growing up, but I never got her. But they don't make her anymore. And so if you get on, you can find Kirsten, but she's very, very pricey. She's a sought after doll. But
Mhm.
anyway, you know, the
Those
90s,
are those are
90s
really
girls.
those are really good books too for like Paisley's age.
Yeah.
Um I haven't read any of the new ones obviously, but the old ones that we grew up with were really good for them to
Yeah.
read. But yeah, Kaya was the one that Paisley got, and she got the horse with it, and the horse is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the horse is pretty. I want the horse too. We actually have, so we do have I had an American Girl horse. I don't know if it was that brand. Like back in the day, there were some American Girl, like knockoff type brands. So I think it was one of those brands, but yeah, I still want Kaya's. I love Kaya's things. But um, the other thing that Cheyenne's not quite ready for this, but I've kind of been thinking about it is like a little starter sewing machine.
Mhm.
I've seen them, and I don't know if your girls had one or if you guys just started on a real sewing machine.
Well, my girls have just grown up with my grand right there, and so they've always just used the her big sewing machine. They got a starter one. I want to say it was like maybe $30-$40, probably from Hobby Lobby. And it was really, really little,
Mm-hmm.
but it, to
Didn't
me, if you're going
last.
to teach, yeah, if you're going to teach them how to sew, then they're going to have to learn how to be safe, whether it's a small one or a big
Right.
one. So
Right.
you might as well just teach them off the bat with the regular one. And I'm not a seamstress. I mean, I can do a couple basic things, but my grand is, she is a fabulous seamstress. And that was her recommendation. She was like, if you're going to teach them, just teach them the right way to begin with. Don't try to like dumb it down or minimize it, because in the long run it's just going to hurt them. So just start them
Hmm.
off right. Now they have like, and I say that to not saying like the basic sewing machines. I'm talking about the tiny little kid ones.
Right.
That's the one
Right.
that's the one we got. They do have some really nice starter sewing machines that aren't super expensive and all of that. Those are great. That's not
Yeah.
what she was talking about. She was talking about the tiny little kid ones that you can literally
Right.
hold in
Right.
your hand. Yeah.
Right.
And she was like, those are kind of junky. Just get a little bit nicer one. So
Huh. But that's a good idea. I mean, once again, something you can probably find used.
yeah.
And
Well, and any woman that sews is obviously going to take care of her equipment. So those are one of those things, if you do find it used, it's going to be in great condition, and they more than likely have babied the thing. So that's a great option to get something that is used, especially if you're not sure if they're going to, really love that forever or,
Right. So my mom actually gave me her, I think it was her first sewing machine. And it's like a 1970, I don't know, 1978 or something, like sewing machine. But the cool thing about it is because I'm like a beginner sewer, but it's not complicated. Like it's very straightforward, and there's only a couple of things you can do on it.
Yeah, that's usually best.
And so it's not like the crazy ones nowadays where it's like everything's digital and there's like these crazy screens and stuff, like, and there's like
Yeah.
5 million different stitches you can do. It's like, okay, this is how you put the thread in. And then like there's like the little knob that you can change the stitching, and like that's pretty much it. And it's like those older ones are like built like tanks, so
Yeah.
they don't break. Like,
Well, and to me, like, if you're going to start out learning, you don't need all the extra, because that's just going to confuse you more.
right. Yeah. So there's some ideas there. Is there anything else for like the 6 to 9 age group that you can want to recommend?
I don't think so. I'll be sure to link my Cow Kid Christmas gift guide. I did a pretty extensive one this year, for men and women too, but specifically for kids. I don't have it broken down up into age groups, but I do have it broken down into gender. Um, and it has some just, fun ideas that are linked. And then we'll be sure to put in our show notes some of the things that we've mentioned. But I do want to say, for not only that age, but any age range, we're really big on experience gifts. And we've noticed that our kids love them just as much as opening a toy or something that they've um, seen in a store, I guess you should say. And when I say experience gifts, I mean like last year, my mom gifted them with both each a month of art lessons because they take art class, and they were very appreciative of that. We've also done like gift cards to the movies, to the science museum. We've done zoo passes before. We've done to like the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. My mother-in-law got them a year pass to that, and they really
Wow.
liked that. And a lot of those places, when you do the yearly pass, it's really not that expensive, and you can go as many times as you want. We also have the First Americans Museum here in Oklahoma, which is really neat. We have the Express Clydesdales, which are cool. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, lessons. So not only art lessons, but like if they want to do roping lessons or gymnastics or dance, those are also really great experience ideas. And then I've also thought about like a fishing or hunting trip for a little boy. And I'm looking at my little gift guide. Oh, I put on here a girls trip. So when I say girls trip, one year we took Paisley to like the Pioneer Woman mercantile and to her house, and that was really fun for her. Like a gift card to get a pedicure for a little girl. They would love that. And again, like any kind of lessons to do something that they want to do would be really fun for them to open. My kids love stuff like that. And I feel like it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
And especially,
Yeah.
especially like, I guess from like, if you want to hand this off to like a grandparent and be like, hey, she's really acting interested in, say, gymnastics, but we're really not sure if we want to invest in it. Let's do like a month of lessons to see if she is, and then we'll continue on with it. That would be a good idea. And then one thing that we always do for our girls is horse tack. Again, it's something that we have to continue building for their own personal collection for their horse. So like one year my mom got them their breast collar and head stall, and then we've gotten like saddle pads and different reins. and just things like that that the girls still love and appreciate and use all of the time and it lasts. So
Yeah.
that some of those things are things that you would get when they're a little bit older, kind of like my oldest daughter's age, but just just different ideas that's not something you just go get out of a store, and usually like you said you're going to be supporting a maker or small business.
Right. Yeah, I thought of the lesson thing. I think that's a really good idea, especially when if it's like a where you've had several children and it's kind of like your tail end kids and you like already have everything. Like you
Yeah.
have all the toys, you have everything. I think those like experiences are fun because
Mhm.
then it's not just more stuff to clutter up your house too.
Right.
So that kind of reminded me. So obviously we've talked a lot about girls because you have two older girls, but I'm thinking of like things that Cody's told me that he got when he was a kid of that age and kind of getting into the like older, like 9 to 12 young teen kind of age group, but like hunting gear or
Mhm.
fishing gear of any kind. So, I mean, obviously like toy guns are like from the time they're 3, right? Like that's when we when we do it. They have like Briggs got like his little shotgun last year, the little cap gun, and that's kind of like something that we do. But as they get older, you can start getting them like fishing poles. Like I mean, my kids have fishing poles, um, but in these older ages, you can kind of start getting more into like where they are able to have like their own responsibilities and kind of like really take responsibility for their hobbies. So if they
Mhm.
love fishing, like you can get them a pole. If they already have a pole, you can get them a tackle box and some bait and different flies, or just depending on what kind of fishing you do. I think fishing stuff is really great. And then obviously hunting gear if they are starting to go or they need like cold weather gear. Like this is a great time to get it, especially because hunting stuff can be really expensive. And so if you can get a good sale, you can get your gloves or your coats or things like that that they will need for going out hunting and anything like that.
I put predator call
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, like
on the little boys.
yeah, so any type of like a call, like they can start
Yeah.
learning how to do that, especially like a turkey call
Or
or
duck
some of those more
call.
simple, yeah, like duck calls. I've actually seen a lot of sellers on Facebook, some small businesses that they'll do duck calls and they'll engrave their name on it.
Mhm.
So those are really cute, especially for like putting in their stocking. I think those are really good little stocking gifts.
Well, and I think as they get older, more like the 10, 11, 12 preteen age where they're responsible and helping dad a lot, like getting them a really good pocket knife would be
Yep.
really handy that they would like. For little boys, I imagine like a slingshot, which
Yeah.
you may be like, please do not ever suggest that for Briggs, but
Oh, it's gonna happen, and I'm totally okay with it. I've already like accepted the fact that I'm going to have broken windows and like all of the things. He is just, if you could like take the little boy out of like the 1950s like TV show that's like, rough and tumble, and I don't know, like he is just that kid. Like
I love that though.
he's everything, boy. Like the
He builds
epitome.
character, Talia. Just remember, just character.
Exactly. So actually, I just thought of it, but I was thinking, as they get into like the 9, 10, 12, 11, 12 age, that's like when they really can, they might be in 4-H or things like that where they are wanting an animal, right? Like they want an animal to show or just to take care of, or, kind of along the lines with your tack. If they have a horse, like just different things to like give them that can help them with their hobby of owning the animal. So even if it's like feed
Hmm.
buckets or, you know, anything like that, I think is really great. We're not quite there, so I kind of sometimes forget about those things, but I think those are really good
Well,
gifts.
and for any age range, because they make them from toddler on, little work gloves. I think it was year before last, my mom got all of us in our family a pair of work gloves with our brand laser engraved on them. And we love those. We all use them. So those
Yeah,
are
that's a good
great.
one.
Yeah, animals. I mean, I'm in my 30s. I'll take all the animals anytime.
Right? Like, if you're going to just like give one away, just ask me first. I might adopt it, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas season is finally upon us, and we are so happy to have you guys listening and joining us each week. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can head over to Patreon. There you will be able to find video episodes of all of our podcasts, as well as some discounts on our Ranch Goods store. We will be adding a whole bunch of products too in the near future. But if you're not able to support us through Patreon, there are actually a lot of ways that you can. Kenzie and I are both small business owners, and we'd love for you to check out what we create. If you don't know, I am actually a Western artist and illustrator, and I create things all the time for ranch people, farm people, and people who are involved in a rural, agricultural, or Western lifestyle. I have an Etsy shop where I sell a lot of my artwork. I have art prints, originals, printables, and right now I have several different Western themed Christmas cards that you can actually edit yourself. Once you purchase the Christmas card, you can change out the pictures, change out the text to fit whatever you need, and then print it off right on your home printer, or you can have it taken to a print shop. I also have some rodeo themed gift tags that you can print off. You can even customize your own name on them, and you can change the fonts and what they say, and those you can also print out right at home and put them on your gifts. They would look so cute on your neighbor gifts or gifts for family. I just love them. I also have some of my original art pieces in various sizes of prints. My Etsy shop is etsy.com/shop/Wapiti Sage Design. Another thing that I haven't really talked about on the podcast is I actually own a kids' Western boutique. It's called Little Coyotes Outfitters, and there I have a bunch of goodies for babies all the way up to your older kids, and I also have a few things that are fun for mamas. If you'd like to head over to my kids' shop, you can find it at shoplittlecoyotes.com. I'm also going to take a minute to shout out my husband's new business. My husband loves to do woodwork, so he has decided to start his own Etsy shop. It's called Singing Saddle Merc, and he creates these beautiful cedar wood river charcuterie boards. Each piece is completely unique, so you can use them as a charcuterie board or a serving board, but you can also use them as decor in your house. They look great as a centerpiece. You can put decor on top of them. They're just so versatile, and they're truly an investment piece that you'll have, and they will last forever. We are also trying hard to get a few more pieces added to his Etsy shop in the next few weeks. He also makes custom wood kids' kitchens, custom toy boxes, bookshelves, and he even has a few ready-to-ship items. So if you'd like to see his work, you can head on over to etsy.com/shop/singingsaddlemerc. So I also thought of muck boots because like my kids love to help with the chores, but I actually need to get both of them some like designated muck boots because I don't like it when they wear their cowboy boots and get their cowboy boots like covered in mud during the winter.
I don't either.
It's so annoying. And like I like to just be able to be like walk in the door, take off the boots, and then they stay there until we're gonna go out and feed. And those are like the only feeding boots, right? Because there's nothing more annoying than like having to put the boots on and the boots are caked with mud, and it's like
yeah. Well, and the muck boots are just so much easier to clean off. You know, you can take them to the car wash or get a power washer and wash them off if they're really bad. And I just feel like it's just after a while damaging to your leather on your cowboy boots, and cowboy boots are expensive.
Yeah, it is. And plus, like, muck boots have better grip on the bottom than cowboy boots, you know, when it is really snowy or icy. I feel like muck
They're
boots are
insulated a little bit
better.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they make all sizes, and it's not like you have to get muck brand. Like you can get the little, like, I probably for Briggs, I'm going to get like the Walmart, like rain boots, but
Hmm.
they do the same job. Right.
Yeah.
So,
While we were talking about boys and chores and things like that, walkie-talkies. I have that on my gift guide
oh,
every
that's a good
year.
one.
But obviously boys and girls, but we love them. And it's actually something that we use a lot here on the ranch because um, if you haven't listened before, we moved my brick and mortar shop to a little building on our ranch. I no longer have a store in town. I do everything online, but I still have a shop. And it's in one of the far corners of our ranch where we work our cows by our cattle lots. And so a lot of the times when we're up here, my girls are up at the house or at the barn or wherever, and obviously don't let my kids have a cell phone. And so walkie talkies are just nice because they have one, I have one. If they need to get a hold of me or if something's going on, they can easily reach me. And also they're fun. The girls love to play with them. Um, they like to go on adventures, and I just feel better that they have something that they can reach me if they need to. So I think those are just great for young kids all the way to teenagers. So
Yeah, that's a good idea. I also thought of like if you need to get your kids anything they need for helping with chores or anything like that. So, like you said, the gloves, and we said muck boots, but like even if it's like a new Carhartt coat or some
mm-hmm.
coveralls, um, those are all just things that we all need,
Yeah, the
right?
girls, Paisley, she got a new set of bibs last year, and uh, my mom got them like a size or two a little bit bigger because she can put stuff under them, and still maneuver in them. But it's
hmm
nice because this year we're not having to buy another new pair because she's growing so fast. Um, and we usually do that with cowboy boots. We'll get them a little bit big so that
hmm
way they can grow into them and get a lot more use out of them.
Yeah,
Thankfully, I have girls, so Paisley's gets handed down to Scout and
right.
that. But um, there's one thing I don't want to miss on this episode that I think would be like the ultimate gift. And it is a gift that will continue giving forever. And you can use it for all age ranges, literally from toddler to high school, is ranch school. And I have shared this multiple times on my personal account, but I am a huge advocate for ranch school. I'm an affiliate for them, and we have used it within our homeschool curriculum for a few years now. But even if you don't homeschool, it is such a great resource for learning. And I have learned so much off of it myself. And we're in the agriculture industry, but just different things. Like last week when we were on vacation, it was on my laptop. I took it with us, and we did a whole unit about maple syrup. And obviously, it's not something that I know a lot about. And it was so interesting to me because there are so many different topics from livestock to candle making to um, butchery, just different things. But you can purchase the lifetime membership and get access to everything past and future. And I just love it. It is just such a great thing to have, not just for homeschool but for anyone. And my kids just love it, and they've learned so much from it. um Lots of skills in there too, like ropes and knots, and there's things for boys, girls, everything. So anyways, I'll be sure to link that with my link on our show notes. But I highly recommend the ranch school subscription, and I want to say they might be having a deal on it still, but I think it's a little bit cheaper from when I purchased the lifetime membership. And you can buy the monthly or the yearly as well. But I found it that if you're going to get it, I loved it so much. I knew that we would continue on with it, and I went ahead and did the lifetime. So anyways, ranch school is great.
Awesome. I really want to get that. I will. So that kind of is a good segue to this last group we're going to talk about, but the preteen or, 10, 11, 12 age group. We kind of talked about a few things like knife, Leatherman, hunting stuff, fishing stuff. Um, but this is a really good age where they're kind of like, maybe toys aren't really so much of a thing for them, or they're kind of outgrowing the toys, but they're getting into an age where they're really capable and they can really do some fun projects and hobbies. So
Mm-hmm.
what comes to mind for me is just like some really like good hands-on kits and things that they can utilize. Do you have any ideas you want to share?
Yeah. So like you said, kits. Obviously, my girls love the bracelet making kit. I'm sure there's like some fun leather tooling kits for boys, girls too. Um, but for boys, that would be a really good gift idea. I know for my girls, they love the Polaroid cameras. So for gifts in the past at Christmas, they both have gotten a Instax Polaroid camera. But if they want to take it to like the next level as a hobby, maybe trying to find a used, nicer camera for them to start practicing and getting familiar with like aperture and things like that. And you could also gift them with a course or a class to go along with it. Um, my girls are also getting into like earrings and trying to figure out how to do their hair, especially Paisley. She's really shown an interest in wanting to like style her hair a little bit more. And I won't let her listen to this episode so I can say this, but until after Christmas. But like my mom is getting her, because she's kind of at a weird age. She's about to turn 12, so it's kind of hard. She has her tack for her horse, so we're trying to come up with some new ideas to get her. And so my mom is going to get her like her own hair dryer and like beach waver curling iron.
Oh, cute. Yeah, that'd be
Um,
cute.
and she can watch some YouTube tutorials or whatever on how to do hair and stuff like that, other than me teaching her. And then my girls love to ride bikes, and obviously those are some things that like when Paisley's outgrown one, we could hand it down to Scout. But now that Paisley, she's almost as tall as I am, and so she can have an adult bicycle, and I think it would be a good time to invest in a nice one for her. And so that would be a really good idea if you want to invest in a nice like mountain bike. We all like to ride bikes as a family, so that's a really good gift. Um, and another thing that I thought of is skincare. Um, we let my girls like play in makeup, but I don't let them like wear it, other than like some lips or something every now and then. But I have used Root Pretty for a really long time, and it is has really good clean ingredients that I feel um, comfortable letting my girls use. And so I'm gonna get them their like a little skincare kit for each of them for Christmas, and that would be great for like a preteen girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year I did that, but I also had them their own little bathroom bag is what we call it, or adopt kit or whatever. I had them each one made from Real 3 Ranch with their like letter of their name embroidered on it or stitched on it. So that was really fun for them to open. I would love to get a like Paisley's into the sling bags, and I reached out to Kaylee, and we might do this for her birthday. I don't know, but have Kaylee make her a custom like sling bag that she could carry forever. That would be a really good preteen girl gift. But yeah, just trying to think outside of the box of things that they would continue to use and grow into, but still be exciting to open.
Yeah, I love that. Those are all really good ideas. Um, I know that like you've heard of KiwiCo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have like lots of really cute, fun kits. It's like I don't know if you can buy one-off kits. I think you can. Because I feel like Cheyenne got a few for gifts, but they do have a subscription, and so if you have like a kid that like needs a lot of different projects to do, like
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're doing homeschool, KiwiCo is really great because they have lots of different themed type projects that they can do, and then they also have, I mean, they have for every age. So this is not just like for older kids. Like they have them all the way down to like little preschool age kits, and they're all age appropriate. And they're usually kits that they can do with like minimal supervision. Like it's meant to be like
Mm-hmm.
something that they can do kind of like independently. So those kinds of things are fun. Another thing too for like these older age of kids, and like we're throwing it back to me being a granny, but get them some kind of a music player and like let them like give them some music, because this is when they kind of start developing their musical taste, but give them quality. So like don't just let
Mm-hmm.
them, like listen to T Swift. Um like give them some quality, give them some variety and options. So I don't know. I'm not in this realm, so I don't know all the cool fancy players out there. For Cheyenne, we have like a tiny little like MP3 player, and you can load songs on it, and she can listen to it with her headphones. And so it's like an old school MP3 player, right? So you can go that route. You can use an old oh my gosh. Yeah.
iPod.
You can use an old iPod. I had a brain fart right there. Cause I have a couple. And so I can load like certain music on there for, I think there are people that use old phones that are not connected to anything, but like they can still load music onto them. Um, and then if you're really old school, I mean, I have a CD collection, and my kids have a CD player in their room, and so I let them listen to like CDs, like actual CDs. Um, so, and they listen to like classical composers. That's what they listen to, and like fiddle tunes and stuff like that, because they're at an age, I think that's a good start for, and like even like classic country and things like that, where it's all
Mm-hmm.
pretty tame. Um,
Well, I was about to say, like for preteen age, like the record players are awesome, and
yeah, those are cool too.
you can Bluetooth to them. We have Spotify, so the girls have their own playlist, and we'll just hook it up on our phone for them to their player. But I've had a record player since I was a girl. I love them, and it's also fun for us when we go to the thrift shops and stuff to come across some vinyl that we may not have. Like you said, that's pretty tame that I feel
Yeah,
comfortable them listening to. So I love that. But I'm very old school, so I love to collect the vinyl. I have a really
yeah.
fun record collection. And last year, or maybe the year before, because if you don't know, my oldest Paisley is Dolly Parton obsessed. Like we've had a Dolly Parton birthday. We took her to Nashville to see Dolly stuff. She loves Dolly Parton. And so we got her the Dolly and Kenny Christmas album, I think last year before. And so we have that on repeat at our house. And it's fun to have like the crackle and pop of the vinyl, and it
Mm-hmm.
just feels a little bit more cozy when we're listening to Christmas music, and it's just fun to have it
Yeah,
on the record player. So
yeah. Plus, it's nice to. I mean, for me, like I want to be able to use my phone still.
yeah.
you know, and so it's nice to have a something that can play music for them, and you know exactly what's playing, but um, you can still use your phone if you need to. So, I think we're gonna just kind of touch on some ideas to put in stockings, and then we will wrap it up because we've got a very full episode here.
Always.
I think they just keep getting longer.
So I'll just run through a few stocking ideas for both boys and girls that I have on my gift guide. Again, work gloves. I think those are great. We always do some socks, whether they're like, my mom usually gets me some really nice Pendleton socks, which I love. I usually get Zach some really nice wool hunting socks for his stocking. Um, but socks are usually a thing for us. Um, kind of going off of the chores and hunting stuff for both boys and girls, I love the hot hands because you can easily slip. I
Yeah.
like those for anybody's stocking.
Yeah.
But hot hands are great to stick in there, and they're cheap. You can buy a big pack and disperse them among everybody. Card games. So our girls love to play games, especially cards, and we're big on Uno. They also have the pack where you can get like War, Crazy Eights, Old Maid, Go Fish, and like a really big pack. And so those are really fun to put in stockings. Again, like you could do experiences like movie gift cards or zoo passes in stockings. Um, and then my girls love art supplies and they really like the felt tip pens or the chunkies markers. So those are fun to put in there. We get really fun stickers. They like to put those on their water bottles. I'll usually do like a cute little chapter book or nail polish or like a spa headband. So just little fun gifty things that are exciting to pull out of there is kind of what we do.
Yeah. Yep, those are good ideas. Another one is like earrings.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Cheyenne does not have her ears pierced yet. I'm trying to talk her into it, but I told her. So I actually was telling her, I was like, before I got my ears pierced back in my day, there were like these little stickers that you could get and stick them on your ears. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah, those are fun.
They were like the little kind of like gel, like hard gel, and they were like hearts and stars and things like that. Anyway,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, "Do you still have them?" I'm like, "No, but I'm sure I could find some." And then just a couple of different things. Like I always do a coloring book because my kids are little and they're like love the coloring age. Um, and then another thing that I thought of was like a headlamp.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they're doing chores at night in the wintertime, a headlamp is great, or for hunting. My kids love magnifying glasses.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they both just like love like carrying around, and they fight over the one that we have, so I need to get them another one. A watch, if your kid needs a new watch or needs a watch in general. And then like I don't know, Cheyenne, she just learned how to do latch hook, and those kits you can get them for like $6, and you can get like a little latch hook kit, and there's some different like beginner sewing kits that you can get, or like
Mm-hmm.
beginner crochet kits where it's like kind of all mapped out for them and shows them exactly what to do when they're just barely learning how. I mean, this is for like a little bit younger kids. I always do like new toothbrush, new toothpaste,
Oh, yeah.
all of like the standard kind of things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think we pretty much covered it all. Can't really think of anything else.
Yeah, I think those are all good gift ideas.
I mean, I'm not like super big on loading up the candy in the stockings. I mean, but there are some fun things you can put in, like jerky or honey sticks are like a fun one. Or
Mm-hmm.
I like to do like old fashioned candy. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, like the ribbon candy kind of.
yeah, or even just like the old fashioned peppermints or the old
Mm-hmm.
fashioned peppermint sticks, where it's not like the normal modern day like candy canes, that you can buy anywhere. But like we were at the dollar store the other day and they had a bag of old fashioned peppermint sticks. So I bought some and I need to go back and see if they have more because Cheyenne ate a bunch of them and so I need to get some more. But I don't know, just to make it feel like a little bit cuter and more old fashioned, that they're getting special candy that they don't get any other time. So,
Yeah.
if you want to do that. But I think that's a great list of things. I mean, we could go on forever, but I think those are some pretty good ideas if you're still in the Christmas shopping mood. But we did want to let you guys know that our ebook is now available, and
Yay!
you can get it on our website, paintbrushprairie.com, in our shop.
I think eventually Talia and I talked about having it as a physical copy too. You know, if you are on a tight budget this year and you need something for like mom or sister or aunt, grandma, whoever, you can print this off on some really nice quality paper. I know like any of the office stores can usually bind you something,
Right.
and it would be a really, really nice
Yeah.
gift. So we're not going to have a physical copy in time for Christmas, obviously, but you're more than capable and able to do that. But the ebook, it's such a great price, and there are some of our like tried and true, hearty, cozy, delicious recipes. So it would be such a gift, and it's beautiful. So
Yeah, it's our winter edition. So we kind of packed it with recipes that we like to make during this time of year. They are not healthy, but
yeah,
they
don't come here for
are
that.
they're cozy, and they are just like perfect for making when you're wanting that kind of a like soul filling kind of meal. But it's not just, dinner. It's like there's some breakfast, there's some desserts, there's some really good Sunday dinners, soups, um, just all sorts of things that you can try. And we're so excited, and we can't wait to hear what you guys think. So head over to our website and you can grab yourself a copy.
Yeah, and just on that note too, all of our proceeds from our purchases goes back to the podcast and helping us fund it to be able to put this content out there for you guys. Podcasting is not free, and having a website and all these other extra things that we have to communicate to you guys is can be expensive. And so we're just trying to come up with some fun ways to give you something in return for supporting us, and we just greatly appreciate any purchase. And also reviews. Reviews are huge for us. So if you do not mind, to please go to Apple Podcast and leave us a rating and review with text. This gets our podcast viewed and kind of bumped up as a recommendation for other listeners.
And also, if you don't mind, share our podcast with your friends and your family. You just never know who is going to be in a place where they really need something like this, and it might add a lot of joy to their lives. So if you know anyone that you think would kind of relate or would like to listen to us ramble, please share it with them, and we would really appreciate that. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like there was one. Oh, along with our new ebook, I have created a printable. It's a freebie that you guys can download. It will be on our website, and I will have the link in our show notes. But it is 31 days of old-fashioned Christmas crafts. So obviously we are into the first week of December. So, if you start right now and you do every single day, you'll go into January. But I did include a few that are not Christmassy. They're just wintry. And so you can definitely keep doing those, or you can just pick and choose from the list and do those with your family as you want to. A lot of them are handmade. They're all handmade, but a lot of them are simple enough that the little kids can do them, and they are using items that can be found. You don't really have to buy a lot to create them. A lot of them, there's a couple that are like food. They're not really a craft, but like a food activity or something like that. So if you're wanting to really kind of make the most of this Christmas time and do some fun crafts with your family and bring your family closer together during this season, I really suggest you go and download that. And it's free. So we'll have that in the show notes for you. But we are so glad that you guys are listening, and we're so thankful for all of the comments that you guys leave and the little messages that we get. And we're really excited to grow this podcast and reach even more people. So thanks for being with us. And we hope you guys are going to have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you don't mind, would you please leave us a rating and review?
This will help more ladies find us, and it will help us make the show even better. If you know a fellow Western homemaker who would enjoy the podcast, will you please share it with them?
If you'd like to support the podcast, you can become a patron at patreon.com/paintbrushprairie. You can follow us on Instagram at paintbrushprairie.
You can find me, Kinsey, on Instagram at _farmgirl and my blog, farmgirlblogs.com, to see what I'm up to on the ranch, Western home inspiration, or subscribe to my meal plan subscription at farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals. You can also shop for unique Western goods at my rural boutique and general store, farmgirlboutique.com.
You can follow me, Talia, on Instagram at The Pinion Range or my Western art page at Wapiti Sage Design. You can also purchase my artwork or book a custom piece at wapitisagedesign.com. I also blog over at thepinionrange.com, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel where I share the behind the scenes of my life as a Western artist and homesteader.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time from the Paintbrush Prairie.